It is Friday, May 27th, exactly 7:30 a.m. Um, I am off today and yesterday, but let's talk about the last video first. It's definitely going through a very hard time last time. Um, it took about another month and a bit, maybe a month before I started to actually feel better. Right now, I'm definitely feeling better overall. I'm not in that same headspace, but I am worried because with the cyclical nature of my sadness, the ups aren't as up anymore and the downs are fucking down. So I'm worried and anxious for the next time that I'm down because I don't know I honestly don't know how much deeper that hole goes. And that was a deep fucking hole. So I'm just working, I'm just trying therapy and just seeing. I've got some things to try that I haven't really needed to employ, but I've got them kind of in my pocket, and hopefully I can, you know, not have an absolute shit few months the next time I'm sad. So, yeah, um, that was just rough. I'm still like, for one of the things from that, I'm still kind of like experiencing. Actually, just really quick, I just want to mention, like, I've been feeling fine this week, a little bit meh. I think it might be work related though, so we'll see. But um, one of the things is that I'm still kind of just isolating by myself, just in my own little bubble, just not really talking to anyone except, family. Um, because yeah, the one thing that I really messed with was like my percept or like I not my perception. It's like just I took time to think about my friends. And I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, but like I realized that like I haven't really put effort into to friendships. And the reason no one reached out is because we don't have that type of friendship, and I wouldn't reach out if I were them. So it was just weird and awkward. So it's like maybe think like, oh, like I don't really like I have buddies, I don't really have friends, and the weird part is like I'm kind of neutral on it. Like I don't really care that much. So kind of similar to how I'm kind of like with my love life. I'm trying to think of like or trying to figure out like one, why do I even want a girlfriend, but two, like how do I be a good boyfriend in that relationship, and contribute into a way where I'm benefiting the relationship as a whole, but I'm also benefiting the person that I'm with, and ideally vice versa. Um, the same way I'm thinking of like relationships, like how, like why, not so much why do I want friendships, like I kind of that's it's nice to have them, but like the effort that goes into making an effective or making an actual friendship, not just a buddy system. Um, like why am I like not really interested in doing that? Um, and just kind of trying to follow that line of thought. So that's something that's been on my mind and I'm working on. But yeah. Um, so yesterday was my birthday. It was nice for the most part outside. It got a little bit dark and gray for a few points throughout the day, but overall nice. We made some burgers. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling anything in particular this year. I thought maybe pizza, but I was like, I don't really, I don't really know. I wasn't really feeling a steak. It was kind of like a burger will do. So had a burger and some chocolate cake. I think it's the same one as last year. So yeah, it was good. Really filling. I was pretty tired after dinner yesterday because I was just full as hell. So that was good, man. I think the best gift I have really these days is knowing that I get to celebrate with my entire family. So more of those. That's the best thing I can ask for. So that's cool. I went back and I watched last year's birthday video, and it was kind of funny because there were multiple points in that video where I just want to pat myself on the head and be like, "Oh, okay, Mr. Optimistic. Okay." So the first thing was I was talking about the Leafs and how it's like, it's 3-1 in the series, and I was already looking ahead to facing Winnipeg, and I was like, oh, I mean, as a Scarred Leafs fan, there's a little bit of anxiety about it. It's Montreal. They're gonna be fine. Okay. That ended up not aging well at all, and that was the one where I literally sat here like, oh my god, I'm so stupid. So that was annoying. Speaking of the Leafs, they were back in the first round this year against Tampa Bay, the reigning defending Stanley Cup back-to-back champions. And honest to God, they played. We decided like one game where like it was like 5-0 up by the end of like the first 10 minutes. Dude, they played so good. They were up at the only time they were down in the series as a whole was in Game 7. Like they were up like 1-0 in the series, 2-1 in the series, 3-2 in the series, and then it was 4-3 Tampa. And there's a stat that of all the times Tampa and Toronto played each other this season, it was offsetting wins. So it was, I don't remember the order, but it was like Tampa, Toronto, Tampa, Toronto, Toronto, until it was finally at the very end, Tampa, Tampa. And the Leafs, they played some of their best games. Some of their best games. In Game 6, it went to overtime. I think it was like 2-2, 3-3 or something like that. They played fantastic. They were dominating, and just like Montreal last year, they were dominating. Tampa Bay got one chance, and the other end they scored. Goes back to Toronto for Game 7. They have home ice advantage, and they lose. They played well though for the first time in the Game 7. It's you're sad, but you're not mad. Well, at least I'm not. And it was honestly very encouraging to see that. Tampa Bay went on to sweep round 2 against Florida. The Battle of Alberta ended yesterday. Edmonton goes on to the Western Conference Final. And Colorado is up 3-2 in the series, despite a fantastic game 5. So, yeah. That one hurt. Honestly, that one sucked. That was I legitimately believed in the Leafs. I was like, they're winning. Despite the fact that it's Game 7, I knew that they were winning and they didn't. Oh man. But I don't know what it was. Like that specific round was encouraging. And right now, like if the regular season started today, I would actually watch it. For the first time in like 2 or 3 years, I actually watched at least the regular season. Because it was good, man. Like God. I can't believe it, dude. They were the only team out of the last like 10 or 11 playoff rounds in the series clinching game. Tampa Bay, sorry. In the last like 4 or 5, Tampa Bay has not been scored on in the series clinching game. Toronto is the only team to score on their goalie. Technically, they scored twice. The score was like 2-1 at the end of the game. But one of the goals that actually got scored was called off because of a penalty. So technically, they scored twice on him. But they got 2 pucks by him, as much as I say. Oh, man. That's a rough one. So, who knows? Maybe next year. Other than that, I don't want to keep this video too long, but other than that, I started, I don't remember if I talked about my Star Wars playing, but I played Star Wars for a bit, I stopped playing, and then for the last little while, really all I've been doing is playing Rocket League and Diablo 2. In Diablo 2, I started a Grail on single player, just so I can modify the player's count, and I've been really enjoying it. I'm currently just a little bit over 50% done the official Grail, but I've added to mine that I want to do a few extra things. So for example, I want to find every rune, I want to make every rune word, I want to also find a +1 skill for every +1 skill Grand Charm for every spec in the game, and then for the Hellfire, for the Torch, I want to find 1 for each class. So making it a little bit more difficult and making it a lot longer of a process, because especially with those runes, like finding multiple of those high runes for multiple of those, or for I guess for multiple different rune words, that's gonna be rough. But it's, I don't know, it's just something to work towards. Like the thing I like about Diablo 2 is just grinding. Like I like the grinding in that game, so it's like why don't I make a goal? So when I find something, even something like Eisenhearts, for example, like I find Eisenhearts or Saigons, I mean, not anymore because I've completed those sets, but like when I find it for the first time, I was like, oh my god, I'm happy I got this. So yeah, yesterday I finally got my Shaco. I swear to God, it was like weeks of just finding everything but a unique Shaco. It was white, rare, blue, cracked, damaged. Could not. I was finding multiple. I found no less in the last couple of weeks, no less than 100 non-unique Shacos, and then finally Andy dropped one for me yesterday. So thank God for that. And that's probably what I'm going to do more of today. I'm going to catch up on some wrestling, and then I'm going to check up on some Reddit, and then Diablo and Rocket League, man. I've been really enjoying both of those games, especially Rocket League. Well, I guess both, but like with Rocket League, I'm kind of sitting It was rough. For, like, 2 weeks ago, I went through like this losing streak where I just lost like 16 straight or something like that. And half of them, I swear to God, were like Leafs losses. We'd be up like 4-0, we'd lose. Not even overtime, we'd just lose. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. So, but yeah, I ended up going down to like Diamond 2, but I've worked my way back up. I think I'm Champ 1, Division 2. I'm trying to get Champ 2, but can't yet. And I feel like I'm playing really well. Like I'm just making some highlight reel goals, or passes and shit. I'm just good at the game, dude. So that's been cool. Um, another thing actually from that last year's video is I was talking about work, and I was talking about how there's 4 of us now. There's 4 technicians. There's 150 tickets, and it's spread out evenly. And I'm actually gonna have time to do work. And even the management said they're gonna give me time to do work because they saw my tickets. Like, holy shit! And that never happened. And I was like, oh, that's funny. So yeah. But I guess with work, I skipped over that. With work, it's still pretty chill. It's still pretty not chill, but it's busy. I'm definitely working a lot. Last week, so on Friday, May 13th, I started my on-call, and that weekend I was just covering for someone else who was going on vacation. So my official on-call was supposed to start on the 16th, but I started on the 13th instead. That first weekend was a little bit frustrating. Specifically, Friday night was a little bit rough because I didn't know I wasn't supposed to be doing West tickets, so I did a couple of West tickets that were rough. But overall, it's fine. And then last weekend was fucking shit. It fucking sucked, dude. It sucked so much dick. I've never had a worse experience in my life. Friday, I think, was actually fine. Saturday morning, fuck me, dude. I actually got to sleep in. I woke up. It was like 10:30. I was like, all right, I think I should get out of bed. And then literally calls started coming in because there was a storm. And it's a long weekend. And a storm that took out power to like 100,000 people. So it started at one end of the place and it's worked its way down the highway. So I'd finish one city with outages, next city over, outage, next city over, outage. So I worked like 11 hours on Saturday and then something like another 10 on, I guess probably like 8 or something like that on Sunday. It was fucked, dude. It sucked ass on a long weekend too. At the end of it, Luke, my manager, said, you know what, take Tuesday off. Just here's a free one. Just take it off. I said, well, I'm already off on Friday. Can I take Thursday off instead? He's like, yeah, sure, do that. He ordered me dinner on Sunday, which was fantastic. Got me some Wild Wings. It was massive. You get me like 2 things of wings, a shit ton of like nachos, and some fries. I only ate the wings, and I was like, I'm full. So I gave Mom the nachos, and he gave me also like time and a half or whatever for the Monday, even though I didn't work it. Well, I did a little bit in the morning, but other than that, like I didn't work it. So in total, he submitted 31 and a half hours of overtime for the last week. Combined with the week before that and everything else, I'm up to like 40 hours of loot time. So now I have, because at the end of December, I'll have like 11 days of loot time. And I think this Friday that I took off, I think that's down to 10 now. I should have 3 weeks next year just because when I was hired, I haven't accrued the full 15 days yet by the end of the year. But I now have 3 weeks of vacation. So I'm kind of debating how I want to take that, if I want to kind of spread it out throughout the rest of the year where I just take a week off here and there, or if I just want to take 3 straight weeks off, because that'd be fucking sick. But we'll see. But yeah, that was, Jesus Christ, that sucked ass. So just looking forward to kind of getting back to maybe more of a regular pace, because fuck me, that sucked. Food just been rough. It's with the I don't like to call it depression, but like with the depression there, like it's been rough. So I'm just trying to kind of get back on the swing of things. I'm just kind of taking it easy. I'm trying not to cut off it cold thing. I'm trying not to cut things off cold turkey. I'm just trying to at the very least kind of wind myself down and try to figure out the right plan here, because it's eating like shit is hard to just completely avoid. So I haven't been really buying anything. I'm out of all my sweets, so having it not in the house is nice. But like for example, this week I was just craving all dressed chips, so I was like, you know what, just I haven't had anything really, so I'm just giving to this. Otherwise, I've been drinking a little bit of Coke every I guess not every night, but for most days. I just gotta give myself a little bit of a sugar intake somewhere. So that's a thing. So just working on that. And then music really quick was one of the other things I talked about last year, so I wanted to also going through alternating 1 and 2. I wanted to finish both by the end of the year, which is fucking ambitious. And I wanted to have 1,000 songs for a year of my life. That last time I far exceeded. I'm already at like 30,100 songs, something like that. So well exceeded that, which is great. I did finish 1. I'm still working on 2. Slowly making my way. I think I'm at I finished Jimi Hendrix, and then at that point, like honestly, at that point, I'd been listening to like 4 or 5 straight bands that were like long as shit, and they only had like one or no songs that I wanted to add, and some of them weren't even metal. So it's like I need to listen to something. So I ended up listening to Ningento, but still didn't really fill in that craving that I was having for metal. So gotta listen to something else. But yeah, working on that. That's probably gonna take me to the end of the year at least. Because if like I forget how many folders there are now, but like if I listen to one band every day for the rest of the year, that's still like 220 bands. There's like 225 days left in the year, something like that. I don't know, but so that's so that's the thing. And then just overall for year 29, the last year of my 20s, I want to try and just not be so stressed out about 30. I don't know why. I don't know why. It's like I don't know what exactly not that I'm afraid. It's just that I'm anxious about 30 because it's like I don't know. It's the same to an extent. It's the same way that I felt going from 19 to 20. It's like the end of an era. Like I'm not a teenager anymore. I'm in my 20s now. I'm in my 30s. Like 20s, I feel like it's still young, but it is. But in like 30s, it's still young. Like at the end of 30, you're turning 40, which is that start to get a little bit older. I don't know. It's just I don't know why I'm so stressed about it. Because like at first I thought it was just like I'm gonna look old. It's like, well, I mean, I kind of have a young looking face, so I'll look younger than I am, but still, like I know that I'm this age, and it's just like I don't know. Part of me is like look, I'm trying. I don't have a full thought here, but it's like part of me is like, what if it's like your fear of like having to be act your age, so to speak. So like you can't just do like I don't know silly things. I don't know. I really don't know what the thought is there, but it's like I don't know. I don't know. So that's the first thing I want to try to do is not spend so much time worrying about my next birthday. And the big thing really is, I'd like at this time next year to be a guest in this house. I'd like to move out finally. We'll see how that goes. At the very least, I'd like to be looking, have that be something that I'm like, okay, like I just have to find a place because it's well past time for that, and yeah. And this time next year, ideally, I'd like to look back on this still in a good headspace. I'd like to look back on this and not have said anything where I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, why'd you say that? And ideally, this time next year, the Leafs have won a playoff round, and I'm happy that they're there. And maybe I'm done my Grail. Holy shit, could you imagine it only took me less than a year? That'd be cool. But yeah. So I'll leave it there, and hopefully the next time we talk, I am feeling well. So be good to yourself, Mike.